We're here at the IRENA General Assembly meeting 2026 in Abu Dhabi. And today I'm joined by Gianni Chianetta, who is the chair of the Greening the Islands Foundation and also a board member and the secretary for Global Solar Council. He is a leading voice in the global clean energy transition, working at the intersection of policy, finance, and innovation for over 25 years to accelerate renewable energy, especially for islands and vulnerable regions. In this conversation, we'll explore how global renewable energy leadership connects with real-world impact, partnerships, and action on the ground for the energy transition. Gianni, thanks for joining me in this conversation. And
Thank you.
If there's anything that I left out in the introduction, I'll be happy if you can just fill in the blanks for us.
Yes, no, I just you introduced me very well. Is over 25 years where I've been also chair and CEO of Global Solar Council, vice president of Global New Alliance, one of the founder, and I want to devolve all this experience for islands. Because I understood that in the global challenge to 100% renewables, everybody talk by 2050 we should be reach 100% renewables. Islands has an important role to play to create trust around the world that 100% renewables is possible, is feasible, technically and also economically, and our goal is to create islands around the world that go on this target, also in a vision of a full electrification and integrated sustainability, where the energy can be the first mover to create sustainability, a connection between energy and water, mobility, and all the other sectors. You know, this is a very important point I'd like to highlight here. I think islands, we want to convert, and this was a discussion yesterday I had in the sixth ministerial of IRENA and beyond in our event, to change the paradigm. That indeed islands are the front line to climate change, are very vulnerable, but you need to invest on islands not as a charity, but as a huge opportunity for the world, because islands, with a small investment, you can see the results of your investment in technology innovation to combat climate change. And it's a huge opportunity. Islands are an opportunity, are not a cost that you need to do just for, let me say, charity, I was saying, but it's an opportunity for the world to test the innovative solution. And that's why we launched the 100% Renewables Initiative, and we want to scale up with the 100 for 100 campaign we have together with Blue Planet Alliance, in order to have 100 islands at least commit by 2030 to 100% renewables to be reached by latest 2045. But by 2030 we ask the island not only to commit, but to have a detailed, credible roadmap to go to the goal of 100% renewables by 2045 as latest.
Okay. One of the things that we're doing at GSI, actually our mission statement is to help countries become 100% sustainable through technical education, workforce development, and what we call now people development, right? So from your vantage point as the chair of the Greening the Island Foundation, what do you see as the most urgent and pressing needs for our islands right now?
Yes. First of all, in order to tackle what we are saying, the first action is to understand where you are in a transition to a full ideal scenario of sustainability. For this reason, we have created the Global Sustainability Index for Islands to understand on each sector, on energy, on water, mobility, on waste, and environment, where you are with a score for each sector and an overall score, putting together the sub-indicators with the one index.
And this is for each island you have
This is a need to apply for each island. We launched a few years ago. We applied to some islands, but we'd like to expand also from one side, this gives an idea of where you are, where are your gaps to improve your score in each sector and overall to your island. This is an indicator can be utilized as a flag, as a green destination for the sustainable tourism, because it's the main economy of islands, but also is a way to collect and monitor data and then apply to many islands. For instance, in a regional approach like the Caribbean, you can group project, create pooling on a way. We discussed yesterday also with the UNDP about the importance, urgence to pool projects for economy of scale, for tenders to create buy groups, etc., which is very important. And this indicator combined with, for the energy specific, with the 100% renewables, help us to standardize the methodology, standardize the outcome, and being able to collect the data into group projects between them. And I like the idea of the regional approach. Caribbean could really, as among all seats, the biggest number of renewables, and could really lead on that regard, anyway, on creating a regional approach.
What do you think people misunderstand? Well, first of all, let me take a step back and ask you this question. On a personal level, what personally drew you to the islands? Like, why the islands from your personal vantage point?
Yes, this come from my personal experience, at a personal level, because I started in end of 900, so in the year 2000, then properly, to focus on energy and renewables. And I started in Italy, where we had only 34 megawatt of solar PV. And my problem, challenge, and frustration was to create trust that the solar renewables could really be reliable and be an alternative to fossil fuels. And I was very frustrated. I founded an association, the first Italian solar PV association, Indus Association. I really, I lead for 12 years this association, and I managed to negotiate with 5 governments all the legislation, regulatory, for the renewables and especially for solar. And I left my mandate with 20 gigawatts in Italy with a lot of trust. And now Italy is counting 40 gigawatts of solar, and more than 40% of energy is coming from renewables. So I want, going a global scale, I had the same challenge, to really 11 years ago when I started Green the Islands, I had the same challenge to do projects internationally. And I saw the opportunity of the islands to create trust, as I did in Italy, for the world, that really 100% renewables is possible. And we can create sustainable world where human can live in harmony with nature, when we can really create a model where all the travelers can be educated, seeing how it's possible to have a sustainable environment. Anyway, where energy with water, with mobility, with waste is full connected, with agriculture, with pollution. When we talk about pollution, it's not only CO2, the air pollution. We have pollution from noise, we have pollution from lightning as well. And we need to see in a full system, and that's we want to create this pilot.
Right. So what you did in Italy, as you said, you had tremendous success from the time you started the organization to after you left. But the uniqueness of the Caribbean islands pose a different set of challenges, right? Even in terms of policy, we have different government. We have elections every 5 years. Sometimes the government change direction, they change policies and stuff like that. In your experience, how do you navigate this? Because I'm sure it's quite different from in Italy.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's also the issue of economies of scale, which we'll get into after that. So what are some of the challenges there in navigating the policy and regulatory framework in the Caribbean? and working across these different governments.
Yes. First of all, to say that now with Green the Islands is already 11 years that I'm dealing with government from islands all over the world, from Pacific to Indian Ocean, Caribbean, European islands, etc. But also inside Italy, we changed during my mandate 5 governments, and there was a problem of continuity. Also in the islands, you change governments, and the approach we took. Also, this 100% renewables initiative is to engage the community. We asked the government to create a multi-stakeholder committee, including all parties of the government, even the opposition, including industry association, civil society representative, local industry association, etc., in order to share and agree on one way forward for the 100% renewables. So the strategy need to be endorsed by all parties, and so can go beyond different government changing. So this is inside one government. But then, of course, each island has a tailored approach. Anyway, they have a tailored potential of renewables. Anyway, who has more geothermal, who has more wind, who has more solar, etc. And potential and different needs, who is planning to do a data center, who is planning to do a destination plant, etc. It's true that each approach, each roadmap is tailored but we are trying to standardize the process, the methodology, and indeed the legislation cannot be copied and pasted in different, but you can have guidelines that have been and best practice that might be adapted country by country. But for sure, you can. Our goal is to find a common practice. For instance, on permitting, with Global Renewable Alliance jointly, we developed recommendations, joint recommendation for all islands, how to really standardize and simplify the permitting process, which is one of the bottlenecks of islands project deployment.
Okay, so let's talk more about the 100% Renewable Islands Initiative. I'm very interested in that. Which islands are you targeting? Yes. Are there a specific set of islands that you're looking to work with, or are you we're going to work with all of them?
No, we target all islands of the globe, island state, but also subnation islands. Because it's true that there are different aspects when you have a government that you decide by yourself, but subnation islands, even in Italy, as you can really, maybe you don't imagine, but there are similar challenges because Italian islands are run with heavy diesel. And they have a huge problem of importing the fossil fuel and so on. And so there are a lot of questions. So we target all islands globally, and we try to find common factor. But because if you combine not only seeds together, which is already an important challenge, but you combine also subnation islands, you create a bigger critical mass anyway of project and opportunity. Maybe not at a project financial level, but you can buy group of technology, for instance, of inverter or solar PV panels, for instance, etc. So you can create critical mass. And on that regard, we launched a digital platform inside in order to connect islands together, seeds and subnational islands, connect all the stakeholders of islands around the island sustainability. Or you can imagine how many people, if you consider governments, utilities, NGOs, etc., around energy, water, mobility, waste. So a digital platform was needed to enable the cooperation. Is already operative. We launched in a Malta conference last year, and it's possible now to create forum, to create debate. Every island can place good news or bad news, asking help, etc. We have a virtual exhibition, also an area webcast for training as well. We are starting all the islands subscribe to 100 campaign. There will be free training during 2026 online through our program anyway.
Okay, so let's talk about a specific island. Let's talk about St. Kitts and Nevis. because I'm from St. Kitts.
Yes.
Right? So what do you have going on in St. Kitts right now?
Yes, actually, I'm pleased that you mentioned St. Kitts because it's exactly the island we're about to start to cooperate for the roadmap to 100% renewables. We, at COP30, we announced the agreement between St. Kitts and the European Union to cooperate to build this roadmap together with the island stakeholders. And so the European Union not only will support financially all the activity we are planning to do, which is with a methodology I was describing before, which imply also create this multi-stakeholder committee and to build 2-3 scenarios and then discuss the best one with the committee for the island, building a timeline, a project teaser map with technical and financial data, etc. But where we are discussing the connection between the two islands, St. Kitts and Nevis,
So geothermal.
how indeed how geothermal can be combined with solar, with the water modernization, grid and storage are needed in order to reach the end goal of 100% renewables. And this is a work that we are about to start for 2026, and we plan to do in 1 year. And to have St. Kitts and Nevis as a showcase for the world, for the Caribbean and the world in that regard.
So we talk about financing, and you mentioned it briefly earlier. So how are these projects and stuff going to be financed?
Yes. First of all, we create an initiative with a methodology and the right partners to be credible. And the funded will be through the European Commission, Euroclimate, with the involvement of UNDP, indeed, and the islands. So and there are agreement between the parties.
So the financing structure, is it more like a loan or grant that you're
It's
giving?
It's a grant. It's a grant to do the full roadmap. And we are considering soon, maybe when we finish the work in 1 year, because every 1-2 years we organize a global summit with the global leaders to discuss about the strategy, etc. We have an observatory, and we are planning to do in St. Kitts and Nevis when the roadmap will be completed to present St. Kitts and Nevis as a case study for the Caribbean and the world.
Okay, so for the average listener, right, the average citizen out there who is listening to this conversation, what should they take about from it? How would it impact the regular people on the street, right? What can we say to them, or how can we explain to them the work that you're doing in St. Kitts and Nevis and the other islands also, so that they can, feel good about the direction in which this is going?
Absolutely. First of all, we work with the island and not for the island as external people. We want to accompany the island stakeholders in the journey. Let me say it's a journey. Assist also with capacity building, etc. And this what is going to change for the people. Indeed, they will be engaged in the vision for the island because, as I said before, we want to create a sustainable environment where the people first, and then the tourists can enjoy, but first the people can enjoy a better quality of life. Means less air pollution, means to have less noise with electric cars moving. We have why not? We are thinking about ironing, and so to have the opportunity when a cruise ship come, for instance, I don't know if St. Kitts and Nevis hosting cruise ship, they can plug in and don't be polluting when they come to you anyway, and they can all this transition need to be done in the respect of the biodiversity and the respect of the landscape and the respect of overall. And on top of this, we want to promote St. Kitts and Nevis as a green destination, sustainable destination, where especially we need to apply the index in St. Kitts and Nevis. Is part of the agreement. And so we can really flag, and tourism that love nature can select St. Kitts and Nevis because they know that they will have less pollution, they will have clean energy, good quality of water, and so on.
Right. Well, I mean, the water issues that we've had in St. Kitts and Nevis has been well documented. I think the desalination plant is now online and stuff like that. But what I wanted to focus on, right, all these ideas are great, but one of the things we are involved with is public education. And I think that in many cases we even have situations now where they're creating a sustainability zone in one of the islands. And there's been quite a lot of pushback from our citizens and residents about that sustainability zone. So I think that one of the most important things is really educating the public, having town halls, doing surveys to kind of get a sense for what people feel about these initiatives. So have you done any of that? Or do you plan to
Yes. We have done many, we are doing many local events and conference anyway. Also national one, regional one, engaging the people. We are producing also infographic material, communication material, also for schools. We did also on what does mean climate change, what are the impact also for the elementary school, let me say.
Right.
And another point, sorry, quite relevant, I forgot that one of the key points also to create a local economy, new green jobs. We need to engage the local industry in order to make sure that this transition is not for global companies just to make big business and leave, but whatever can be done or trained anyway, done locally, need to be done locally, because you need to run and manage your staff, you can need to build your plant. And I was explaining the other day that a lot of headquarters of regional projects, even in the offshore wind, for instance, etc., are in the islands. So we need to differentiate the economy. First of all, help the tourism economy with sustainable tourism, but also differentiate the economy in the island all the year round and in new field. That is very important.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. We're almost out of time now, so I'll basically leave you with any last words.
Yes, I think the last words is really, first of all, it's very important to have luminary people, create a political will, because technology is there. And indeed, we need to run. There's no time to waste, because every year you're wasting money on diesel, on fossil fuel, on pollution, etc. So there is a political will. And the island, like St. Kitts and Nevis, that are ready to go first, they need to move first. And we cannot together work on 3,000 islands in the same year. So as Green the Islands, we are also selecting in a way islands that are the proper background to go first. St. Kitts and Nevis is really indeed one of these. We signed with the Seychelles, we signed some other islands, but St. Kitts and Nevis will be. So my last word is really, we need to cooperate. We need to create a partnership at a global level, but also a regional level and a local level. And please join our web app anyway. Join, just create this digital network, safe travel. And we don't need to meet all in conferences.
Tell us how we can join.
What's you can go in our website, greentheislands.org, and members area, and you can join. This is mainly for the key stakeholders to discuss, NGOs, universities, environmental association, government bodies, etc., to cooperate anyway. And this is very easy. You just subscribe in the members area. It's completely free, and you can enter. And many islands in the Caribbean, if they go to our website, and they can subscribe also to the campaign, and they will have a free training on 2026 on how to prepare to build the energy transition of the island. You know? So it's in that case we have a landing page. 100for100islands.org for that. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for sharing your perspective, and your work in the Caribbean, and we really look forward towards some fruitful partnerships. And
will be very nice. We want to cooperate with media, as the role of media is essential.
Yes.
And we want to cooperate with all the local bodies. Thank you very much. And I love Caribbean. Anyway, also personally.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.